Welcome to another Helena Industries Report. My name is Katie Gallagher and I'm the Marketing Director at Helena Industries.
I'm Karri Jones and I also work at Helena Industries.
The Helena Industries Report is our show where we show what's going on at Helena Industries and what other nonprofits and organizations in the Helena community are doing to provide opportunities for people with disabilities. 20% of people in the United States report that they have some sort of disability.
Coworkers, friends, neighbors, you, maybe me.
And so we're so lucky to have MILP with us today. So we have two guests from MILP. Can you introduce yourself, and we'll talk more about what MILP stands for later, but please introduce yourself first.
Absolutely. First, thank you so much for having us. I'm Kiki Moses, and I'm the Business Development Analyst at MILP out of our Helena office.
My name is Joel Peden. I'm the Administrative Officer for MILP.
Great.
What is MILP?
Want me to start off with that one?
Yeah.
MILP stands for Montana Independent Living Project, and we have been around since 1981.
Wow.
We currently have 3 offices, one in Helena, one in Butte, one in Bozeman, and we serve 14 counties in southwest Montana. However, our orientation and mobility program is a statewide service for people living with blind and low vision.
Great. And so we know that there's been some developments in the world of transit, in public transit, in Helena lately. And so can you share a little bit? I know MILP has played an instrumental role in making those changes happen. So can you share first why accessible public transportation is important, but then also a little bit about the new exciting developments?
Yes.
Sure. Transportation is really one of the keys for people to be involved in their community, right? If you can't get to work, or you can't get to the grocery store, or you can't get to your favorite restaurant to meet your friends, you can't be part of the community. And independent living is a strong advocate for transportation for people with disabilities. And one of the things that's missing in Helena is weekend and evening service, especially if you have a mobility disability and maybe you're in a wheelchair, okay? And so what we did is we partnered with the Montana Department of Transportation, and were able to purchase, along with some federal funds, a wheelchair accessible van. And then we've in turn leased it to Capital Taxi for their use. So for the first time, and as far as I know, this is the only accessible van in a taxi fleet in the state of Montana right now. And it's available 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. So that was the first step. The second step was to make it affordable, right? Because if you can't afford to ride the taxi, then it's very difficult to use. So Kiki and I wrote a grant to the Dennis and Phyllis Washington Foundation in Missoula, and they were kind enough to like our idea, and they funded the first part of our voucher program. So in order for somebody to ride, the program's aimed at seniors and people with disabilities, and no special paperwork or anything like that goes along with that. The person that rides, we ask them to contribute $1 per ride, and then the voucher picks up the other $14 of what the normal taxi ride would be. And you can now go someplace in the evenings, you can go to the movies on the weekends, you can go out to dinner, you can go to the grocery store, all kinds of, wherever you want to go, pretty much within Helena.
I use it quite a lot.
That's wonderful. And do you find it's life-changing?
Yes.
See, that's what it's about.
I use it to get out to the ice arena because I recently got a job with the ice arena, so
Go Bighorns.
so it does change my life drastically.
And do you feel you're more independent because you can manage the call, the drive all yourself?
Yes.
That's wonderful, Karen.
And I got one of their punch cards.
Nice.
Nice. Yep.
So, and they're $10.
Nice.
And you can use the punch card to pay for your $1 ride.
Okay.
So, you don't have to worry about having that $1 in your wallet. You can just use your punch card to cover your $1 copay.
Wow, that's convenient.
Yeah.
Definitely making it accessible.
Yeah.
Very.
So what is to come in the future for the taxi service or for MILP?
That's a great question. As far as the taxi goes, now, the Washington Foundation, they supplied us with that grant for $9,500, which sounds like a lot, and it'll provide probably about 600 or 700 rides. But at the rate that we're going, that's going to get us about 7 or 8 months. So we are going to be reaching out to members of the community to help support this, both businesses and individuals, because we feel it needs to be a community-supported process. Whether you need the voucher program or not, you might very easily, maybe you have a relative that's flying into Helena and they happen to be in a wheelchair. Well, right now, unless you have a wheelchair van, there's no way to get them from the airport to your house, But if we have this wheelchair van in the taxi fleet here, that's an option for somebody who's visiting our city. So not just for residents, but also for friends and families that come to visit as well.
I don't have this question written down, but do you have any fundraisers coming up to help this?
We are. We're working
Good
on
question.
some. We've got some things in the works. Not quite ready to
Divulge.
to share yet, but we've got some exciting things that we're going to do. We're also going to go out and visit with other nonprofit organizations and see if they can help contribute, as well as area businesses. If somebody's watching today and they'd like to contribute, Montana Independent Living Project is a 501c3 nonprofit, so their donation would be tax deductible, and they can call us at 442-5755 and ask for Joel or Kiki, and we'd be happy to visit with them and tell them about the opportunities.
Great, and it looks like the number is on the screen for
Wonderful,
viewers.
yep.
And then, as always, Facebook, right? So
Yes.
it's a pretty good way to get in
Yes.
touch with you.
Yes.
And so, we talked about how to get in touch with MILP, but what if there's viewers out there that are interested in taking the taxi? How do they get a hold of the taxi?
Just happened to bring these. And these are our handouts, and there's information here to call the taxi, 449-5525.
Yep, on the screen as well.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes.
Oh, you guys are ahead of me. And there's a little bit of information here too, although the taxi can answer all of your questions related to it. And then, of course, if there's anything specific that Montana Independent Living Project can help with. But yeah, these are great. It shows the service area, and yeah, we just really want to build on this because, like Karri said, it really is life-changing. And unless somebody has experienced that, whether through birth or like myself, later in life injury, and same with Joel, you just don't understand. And we don't want this to be just an 8-month project. We want this to be a permanent part of not just our community, but we would like other communities in Montana to replicate this, obtain the funding, and just let this be the beginning.
Because I just want to say, without the taxi, our lives would end after 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Excellent point,
So-
Karri. That's what it is that before MILP and Capital Taxi service, for a lot of people, life did end at 5 o'clock, and then there was no availability on the weekends
Unless you had a van and
Yes.
drivers and
Yeah,
stuff like that. So.
absolutely. You had to create your schedule around what was available, and now there's something that's available for your schedule or my schedule.
Sure. Kiki, you just want to tell them the kind of the general service area? I know that there's a map on the
Yes.
back.
There is. I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, it
Pan
looks
in on
like,
that?
I mean, it's wide ranging all the way out to Fort Harrison and the
Yes.
South Helena exit. And like Karri said, you use it to get out to the ice rink out on Highway 12. So folks in the valley look like they're
Yes.
also served as well
Yeah,
for a lot of
and to the
people.
north up
Yes.
to about Sierra Road.
Sierra Road, East Helena, Eastgate, and then all the way down to the South Helena exit.
Like if I wanted to get out to my mom's house, which she lives all the way out on White Rock, so.
So, well, and the nice thing is too, is that this is what's covered under the general voucher. So if somebody needs to go outside of that area, it would just cost them a little bit more, and they would just have to pay the difference between the standard voucher ride and what the regular taxi ride is. So you know, they're still going to get some help with that.
Yeah. And it's still affordable because it's much, much less than it would be
Yeah.
outside of the voucher.
So the only thing one thing I do want to make sure that we share, if somebody does need the accessible van, you know, they don't, we're going to try to make that last as long as we can, right? So for the taxi company, they'd prefer if somebody could call the day before so that they make sure that they have a driver who's been trained in tying down and that type of thing, and that the van is out there. It works out best if we can do that. If you don't need the accessible van, then it's just treated like a normal taxi ride. You just have to call and be a little patient. Sometimes they have a couple other passengers that they're picking up, but you know, I use it. I have a visual disability, and so surprised they don't give a blind guy a driver's license, right? And the drivers are great, really friendly, and Mike and his crew over at
I've
Capital
had
Taxi.
Sean,
yeah.
and he's
Sean's
been
wonderful.
great. He's I found out my dad works at Jerry's Highway, and he's actually one of my dad's customers.
Oh,
So
Oh, that's fantastic. And if I may make a pitch also, just don't forget to take care of the taxi drivers if you are able to. Most of their livelihood is based on tips, like a lot of servers, and
yeah.
you just, I want to put that out there for them too.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for coming on today. This sounds like a service that every community needs, but was definitely needed in Helena and really lets everyone be part of community life. So,
Definitely needed.
yep.
And it
Thanks for
needs
having
to
us.
keep
Thank you
going.
so much for having us and
Yep.
supporting integration in our community.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Really, really needs to keep going. So I'm
Yes,
hoping-
say that again. It really needs to
Yes.
keep going. So all the
Yeah.
community
Really.
support out there is needed. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.